WPC PowerDriver board, and this one was what we used to call a hanger queen. Somebody had rated the 3 amp slow blow fuse from F116, and one of these fuses, the second from the right, had also been rated. It had some severe damage to the general illumination input connector, so I patched that up using some through-hole rivets and replaced all the other general illumination power headers. Also, it was resetting. It said to be resetting in whatever game it was in, and I can see why, because the male headers at J101 were about as burned as I've ever seen connectors. So this is my first run through on testing it. We might find some oddball stuff. Let's see. I have the WPC DMD test ROM installed, so this will test the first 16 solenoids, and then repeat. So all the solenoid drives are good. Test the GI, and we have a problem. You can see that's not dimming. So somewhere between this bridge, and there's some traces that run on the back side of the board, and they show up over here at D3 and D50, I think that is. We got a discontinuity, so I'll show that to you on the bench. Darn it, I usually check those before I bring the board over here, so I don't have to put it on my bench twice. Lamps and flashers at the same time, working well. The voltage being delivered is almost an even 5 for the 5 volts. 11.8 is the 12 volt regulated, 15 is the unregulated 12, 21 and 72 are flash lamp and coil voltage. So let's get into seeing why this zero cross circuit is not operational. A WPC 89 PowerDriver board which is failing to dim the general illumination lamps. That circuit, the GI dimming circuit, originates at these two AC legs of BR2 and then travels across the board. There's a couple of traces, I've marked them in silver and gold, that lead to 2 diodes at D3, and I forgot what the other one is on the other side. From there they travel to an LM339 and some other circuitry that's not shown here. But this area is where most of the problems occur, and in fact at BR2 is where most of the problems occur, because people think that they need to replace BR2 and C5 when in actuality they do not. You've heard me carp about that a number of times. I've got my meter set to continuity, so let's buzz along the way. That's good. All the way over to D30 is good. So let's try the other AC leg, and this one's got a short trace. It goes to this via, and you can see that's open. So that's the problem. When somebody was replacing BR2 here, they fractured this trace. So this is pretty easy. I'll just replace that trace, but let's just buzz through the rest of it. There's a via here, and then the other diode is over here. So that part of the circuit is good. So I'm pretty confident that replacing, I'll tack solder a resistor leg across this and connect it to this AC leg of the bridge rectifier. That should fix that. Back on the bench with this WPC PowerDriver board that I needed to repair the general illumination on, and I see that somebody has replaced U1. Now maybe they were chasing the inability to dim, it's hard to say. Unfortunately, the root cause was the discontinuity of traces all the way from BR2 onto the back of the board over to D3 and D30 through some discrete components here at the 339, and that's what creates the zero cross circuit that you can. Thank you, dear. That you can measure with your oscilloscope or even a logic probe there. So let's see if we've got the dimming done now that my wife has indicated that the shipping department is sending 5 or 6 boards to UPS. And we do have dimming, so this PowerDriver board is good to go. Last thing for me to do is take it outside and wash it down really well. It's a dirty old hanger queen of a PowerDriver board. It's got a couple fresh fuses in here, but thank you so much for sending it.